Well, greetings, and once again, um, I've been pegged several times in reference to questions of can a person do this or can a person do that? And if they're not in the position, and I'm in a military town or military community, and I've been a commander in the military. I've been in leadership positions, so forth and so on. Even as a young officer, I remember my battalion commander setting me in his seat because I was a seasoned soldier, being enlisted first and then officer. But he said, "You're going to oversee the battalion in his absence." And that was the case. But what a lot of people don't understand is that when you are in a position, or when you're not in a position and you're exercising authority as if you were in the position, then you're usurping, and you're actually not in charge, and you're not doing anything but damage. Because whenever we start to do things, and all this goes back to God, whenever we decide to do things and we say God said, or I hear the Lord saying, or the Lord is speaking to my spirit, be careful when we say these things, and be careful who we say them to, especially if you're supposed to be seen as a prominent figure in the community, or whatever religious sect you're in, or whatever fellowship that you're in. Because people hold fast to these things, and then we have a lot of people that don't read this. They don't. This is the Bible. They don't read it. They'll open it up and they'll look at the scriptures that you tell them to turn to, and but when it comes to their private devotion and asking God to reveal all things to them, and when things are still troubling them, to just truly seek the wisdom from those who have been studying it. Now, it's a dangerous thing to be reading this Bible and then you're jumping over certain things in the Bible. It's just certain topics you just won't talk about, or a certain subject you just won't cover, or certain things that you just won't preach about. And if we're going to preach the Bible, preach it all. Don't preach some of it. Preach it all. And that's where I am today. But those questions, I'm going to answer those questions because I'm really tired of my phone just buzzing in my absence. And I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you, but I was not planning on doing videos until I returned. And that's the getting back in town. And so I'm going to do that. But no, it is not lawful, neither is it right for anyone to send out any letter. And the people that contact me are prominent people. A lot of people have sat up under me many years ago while overseeing several worship services in chaplain facilities. Oversaw several worship services overseas, and when I say oversaw them, and that's just the way it is. When God's in charge, God's in charge, and if you're a yielded vessel, God will use you. And that was just something that I was blessed to be a part of, and actually, it was just an awesome experience. Not only just as some, when you're overseas, you got Protestant, you have Methodist service, Lutheran service, Catholic services. Then they got this thing called the full gospel service. Come on, man. Just have a service and preach Jesus and put everybody under one roof. But I'm not God, and I wish that would happen. But here we go with the denominational walls and all this other stuff. But to God be the glory for all of that, because when he comes back, there won't be any denominations. It'll just be sons and daughters of the Most High God. But the answer to the question that those people that have been asking me, because no, it's not lawful, no, it's not right to send out any letter to anyone, to any fellowship, to any organization, and you're not in charge. Now, when I use the term not in charge, you're not what you say you are on your signature block. Assumption of command orders always followed military personnel, and I'll just refer to that because first the natural, then the spiritual. Assumption of command orders always followed. You had to have assumption of command orders in order to be in command or in charge, or that person in authority over a unit, or whatever the case may be, battalion, brigade, whatever. But to send out a letter and then have a signature block and say that you're something that you're not, then you got issues, because what you're saying now is, it's like putting the cart before the horse. As my father would say, when I remember when I got my first car and I would just look at it, he said, "We got to go and get your license now, because you had to be lawful, you had to have a license." And it was like, he said, "Son, you just sitting there, you got gas on your chest." And it's like someone that's just really, 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 really anxious to do something, but you're not authorized to do it or lawful to do it, because if you do it, then it's unlawful, or it's not right, and it's not just. And I'm going to just give you 2 verses of scriptures, and they're real simple. And I could go on and qualify this, but the answer to those questions to the people that do follow and did ask, I know you're on the feed, and it's just real simple. That no, you don't send out letters, you don't put in a signature block that you're something that you're not. You wait until you get those assumption of command orders, or you're placed in a position of authority. It's kind of like, let's just use something that just recently happened not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago. Donald Trump, he was the president-elect. He was not the president. Therefore, he could do nothing in office or send out any letters or whatever the case may be and just sign Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. He couldn't do that because he was only the president-elect. That's it. Obama was still the president until he was sworn in. That's when he became the president. So what you have now is you have things that are being done out of order. And one thing that you can pretty much trace or go back to, that God is a God of order. And whatever he does, his signature, his seal, it's always in the way it's done. There's always a way that God does things that you know it's just all him. And when it's not him, that's when you'll see disorder or things out of order being done. So this is a time, I always tell people, you don't have to ask me questions. I'm not God. You surely don't have to, and go and beat down doors. But I'm a friend to a lot of these people. And so the biggest thing is that read this. Just read the Bible. Read this. And when you read it, ask God to open the eyes of your understanding. And when you read it, God will give you. Now, this thing is, it says what it means and it means what it says. The only way, and I truly say this, the only way you can misinterpret this is you have your own agenda while you're reading it. If you lose yourself and lose your agenda, and this thing will break your heart. It will break you in pieces. It will put a mirror on you, and it will say, Lord, it's me, O Lord, standing in need of prayer. There's no one that doesn't need the Lord. No one. Everyone needs God. But in saying that, this is not to point fingers, kick rocks, or throw rocks, whatever the case may be. But this is to let those people know who have the question. It is out of order. And that's what I do. I mean, I've been doing this, oh my God. Oof. I've been preaching for, how many years has it got? My first time, I've been preaching for 30 years. 30 years. been an avid student of many seminary schools, Bible schools, all of that. But for 30 years I've been preaching. And every time I go open up this book, I learn something new. Well, it's not new. God just reveals it to me. And the revelation is just awesome. I can read a scripture I've been reading all the time. And I go back and read it again. God said, hey, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you that. But just read your word. We're going to go through 2 verses of scriptures, and I'm not going to hold you. And just let these scriptures speak to you. The people that ask me those questions, you know who you are. But ask God to reveal it to you through these verses of scriptures. It's just that plain. It's that simple. I said I was not going to do videos until I got back. But I had to put this out because I told him, hey, look, just look for the video, and the answer will be in the video. Okay, here you go. Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. 1 Corinthians 14:33. All right, it says, and the word of the Lord reads, for God is not the author. Again, God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. As in all churches of the saints, God is a God of peace. He's a God of peace. He's a God of love. He's a God of many things, but he's a God of peace and of love. You have to have the love of God, and when you're dealing with God's people. But I say to you again, for God is not the author of confusion. So whenever, folks, you look at things and it just seems like it's just not, or if anything seems like it's not done in order or it's not following proper protocol, then it's confusion. It's confusion. I'm going to show you one more. And I want you to look at 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40. Let all things let all things be done decently and in order. No matter what it is. Let all things, no matter what it is, be done decently and in order. The word says what it means. The word means what it says. Let all things be done decently and in order. Anyone in any leadership position, prominent figures, whatever the case may be, let all things be done decently and in order. And when we're putting the seal of God on anything, saying God said this, God's doing this, whatever the case may be, let all things be done decently and in order. It is so imperative that we do things decently and in order. Because if anyone remembers anything else, if you go to a program and say, ooh, that program was just all out of whack, was nothing done right, it just wasn't in order. It was just everywhere. It was just like a bunch of confusion everywhere. That's not God. Let all things be done decently and in order. It's that simple. If you're not it, you're not it. Don't send anything out. Don't do anything until you're it. That's easy. Don't call yourself something that God didn't say that you were. A lot of people lying on God. A lot of people lying on God. A lot of people are just liars. A lot of people don't want to tell the truth. A lot of people don't want to face the music. A lot of people, are just a lot of things. But God is still a God of love. You still love them people that lie on you. You still love them people that backbite. You still love them people that gossip. You still show the love of God because that's what Christ did. And as I always say in all my videos, we need to live like Christ, love like Christ, and walk like Christ. If we're not going to do that, don't call yourself a Christian. Put the book away. No need for busting down the door every Sunday. Not even doing anything. If you're not going to do that, don't do it. But what I do urge and encourage people to do is get into your word and learn your scriptures. In Jesus' name, until we meet again, I get back in town on Thursday. We're going to touch a lot of areas. We're going to touch a lot of areas. I mean, a lot of areas. You know, we're going to touch giving. We're going to touch who is Christ. You know, who is Christ? Who is Christ? Period. What was it when Christ came on earth? Who is he? Really, who is he? We're going to touch that. My God. We're going to touch faith. A lot of people think they're faith and they're not. And we're going to touch saved or self-deceived. That's something that it's been burned inside. I've preached it many times, but always abroad and across the world. But I'm going to give it to you right here in video form because it was never recorded. Saved or self-deceived. You know, and a lot of people are self-deceived, but they really believe they're saved. I go to church. I'm a part of an auxiliary. I do this, I do that. I give a lot, but you're self-deceived. Anything that's not of faith is sin. So saved or self-deceived. So we're going to cover a lot of subjects on this video, this network of videos. You'll be able to find them on Dr. KL Harve. Dr. KL Harve on YouTube. Some of those are old, some of them are recent, but all of the recent videos will be placed on there. So get ready because we're throwing nothing but fire. And it's nothing but word. And anyone that wants to sit down with me, I don't care where you are in the world, I'll fly and meet you. You want to sit down with me with this book, we will sit down and meet with the book. It's just that simple. This is the book. It was here before you. It was here before me. It'll be here after us. So we don't have the right to change it, rewrite it, or tailor it to fit what we want it to fit in our agenda or whatever it is that we may have going on. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. I fear no man. I fear nothing that breathes. Neither do I fear principalities. I do not fear death. So, in a nutshell, I'm ready. So we're getting ready to break this book in 2019, the way it's supposed to be broken. God bless you.